What's up guys, it's your girl Em and I'm back with another cooking video for you today, and today I am making meatball subs. So let me go ahead and show you my ingredients real fast. I've got a pound of ground turkey. Like I've said once, and I'll say it again multiple times every time in this video, you can use whatever ground meat you want. I use ground turkey, you could use ground chicken, you could use ground beef, you could use ground sausage. Now traditionally, a traditional Italian meatball would be 1 part pork, sausage, 1 part ground beef, and 1 part veal. I don't eat veal, and I don't really eat pork. And I don't really eat ground beef, so we're just doing turkeys, but do whatever ground meat you want. And sometimes I'll just do sausage and ground beef, or sometimes I'll do half sweet Italian sausage, half hot Italian sausage, and then a third. A third ground beef, a third hot Italian sausage, a third sweet Italian sausage. It's up to you. Literally just a pound of ground meat. You're good. We're gonna have olive oil. We're gonna do the Bertolli tomato basil jarred sauce. Use whatever jarred sauce you want. This is my favorite for the price point. It's pretty decently priced and it's got good ingredients. It's literally just tomato puree, tomato paste, diced tomatoes and juice, basil, sugar, extra virgin olive oil, onions, salt, garlic, spices, natural flavor, and then like whatever preserves this or whatever. But it's very good for the price point. So you could use fancy Rayo's, you could use fancy carbone sauce, you could use Prego, whatever you want. I just use the Bertolli because it's my favorite at the price point. Got it. Onion powder, garlic powder, oregano, basil, salt, pepper. We're gonna use a little bit of Worcestershire sauce. We're gonna use an onion. Maybe not all of the onion, but we're gonna use at least half. We're gonna use some fresh garlic. We're gonna use some fresh parsley, use parm, and we're going to use breadcrumbs. We will also be using some milk and a little bit of mayonnaise because I'm almost out of eggs, and I don't really want to use them in this recipe. So usually you'd use egg as a binder, but I am going to be using a little bit of mayonnaise and a little bit of milk. So that's what we're using today. And then also, usually I would use ricotta, but since I wasn't going to be using ricotta in any other recipes for my meal plans for this grocery order, I decided not to do ricotta. If you want to check out my other meatball recipe, I think my spaghetti and meatballs, it's somewhere on this channel. I think I use ricotta in that meatball recipe. I do usually love using the ricotta as opposed to milk and egg, but I didn't feel like buying a whole thing of ricotta if I wasn't going to use it for anything else. You feel me? Does that make sense? I've just been yapping my head off here. So first things first, we're going to go ahead and dice up my onion. Oh yeah, and then I have my hoagie rolls here. And then I have provolone to melt on top. So let's go ahead and get into this. I'm going to chop up my onion and my garlic, and I'll be right back. All right, guys, so I chopped up my onion. I did half an onion, but I chopped it up really fine, and then I did a few cloves of garlic, minced up really fine, and we're gonna add some olive oil to this. And we're gonna start cooking that. I'm gonna add some salt and pepper, and then I also chopped up some fresh parsley, super, super fine. Now, the thing about meatballs, I like my meatballs to be pretty herby. Like I like to taste that parsley. So I think it's like super nice, especially if you're using like a jarred sauce, if you're not making like a homemade sauce, to use the fresh herbs. Fresh parsley is so cheap, it's like 69 cents, but it makes the meal so much better because it just feels more fresh, you know what I'm saying? So I am going to add my salt and pepper into the onions. And I have my oven preheated at 400 degrees. So the thing about meatballs is traditional Italian meatballs, you would pan fry them. And I don't really like pan frying meatballs because it's kind of a pain. So I am using a trick that Ina Garten. She makes roasted meatballs. She has a recipe making roasted meatballs. You can go ahead and check that out. So I'm gonna roast my meatballs so I don't have to fry them. So yeah, so the oven is preheated at 400 degrees and I'm just gonna cook these onions and garlic up and I'll be right back. Okay, so while my aromatics, my garlic and onion is cooking in the skillet, I'm going to go ahead and season my ground turkey. I have my ground turkey in here. And we're gonna add some salt. And we're gonna add some pepper, but I'm using fresh cracked pepper and I can't do it while like on the phone, or not on the phone, while holding the camera. So we're just gonna wait on that. Actually, we'll just set you here. We're like dangerously close to the stove, but that's okay. We'll add some onion powder. Add some garlic powder. Add oregano. And the last of my basil. That is a wrap for that. It's a wrap for you, baby. All right, add some pepper. There we go. I'm gonna stir the onions and garlic because we don't want them burning. Turn that down a little bit. Okay. All right. And then we're going to mash this together. Some Parmesan. And I'm gonna add my Worcestershire sauce. I like adding the Worcestershire sauce because it gives, it kind of tricks you into thinking you're eating beef. Okay. Then I'm going to add my parsley. I like a lot of fresh parsley. Use however much you want. Give it a good mix. I'm gonna go ahead and add, since they're done, I'm gonna add my onions and garlic in here. I'm gonna keep this pan with me, guys. I'm gonna keep this pan because I will be using that still. Okay, now a 1/4 cup of breadcrumbs. I'm using these. These are the Alessi seasoned breadcrumbs. Mix it up, mix it up, mix it up. I'm gonna add about a 1/4 cup of milk. And that's really just to like soak in with the breadcrumbs. Okay. Because we want these meatballs to be super moist. We don't want dry meatballs. Who could want that? I have Duke's mayonnaise because Duke's is the best. If you know, you know. Excuse me, Poseidon. You you like to be in the way, I'm gonna add a tablespoon of mayonnaise. Now I know that sounds crazy, but it's what I'm using to kind of bind the meatballs together. Because if you don't know this, mayonnaise is made of eggs. Mayonnaise and milk. Ordinarily I would do ricotta and egg, but I don't have ricotta and I'm low on eggs, so I don't feel like using an egg today. So there we go. Give it a good mix. Look at that. All right, now we're gonna make these meatballs. So I'm gonna set you over here where I already have a lined pan. Add some canola oil spray to the bottom. Grab a spoon, clean hands. Since I'm making subs, I'm not gonna make them super big. I just wanna make them kind of like, I don't know, like this. Just like little meatballs. And they'll shrink a little bit. And you don't wanna like mess with them too much. So just kind of fold them, plop them down. Make sure they have a little space. And then I like doing this, the other reason I like doing this is because it makes them so they sit better when you put together the meatball sub. Does that make sense? Because they kind of have a flat bottom. Okay, so I have my meatballs here. They look good. This made about 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, so this made 11. I did make them a little big. I wish I would have made 12, but it is what it is. I just have some olive oil here in this little brush, and I'm just going to brush the olive oil on top. And this is what's going to make the meatballs nice and crispy. It's gonna give them a little bit of a crust. It's gonna help them brown. Like I said, this trick I learned from Ina Garten, so. All right, and now I'm going to put these in my preheated oven and at 400, and they're gonna go in and bake for like 20 minutes. Hasta la vista, my little meatballs. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my sauce. Oh, you know what? I should have put a little bit of sauce in with the meatballs. That's okay. It's not super necessary. But I have my sauce here, and in the same pan that I cooked my onions and garlic, I'm just gonna add it in here. And we're just gonna let this kind of warm up, heat up, get a little bit of that onion and garlic flavoring. We're just gonna let this kind of simmer on the pot here, because we're gonna be dunking our meatballs in this sauce. We want it to be nice and warm. So there we go. I'm gonna clean up the kitchen while the meatballs cook, and I'll see you in a little bit. Okay, so the meatballs are almost done, and I'm just taking my sub rolls, and I know it sounds crazy, but if you put mayo on the sub roll, this is what I've learned from working on a food truck. If you put mayo on bread and then toast it, it toasts perfectly. Like you get like a really nice toast situation. So I just put a little bit of mayonnaise, and then I put a little bit of canola oil on the bottom of this nonstick pan and See, just put in like some mayo, just a little layer of it. You're not gonna be able to taste it. It's not like gross or anything. Because I know some people don't like mayonnaise, and I personally, I'm not a fan of mayonnaise either, but this toasts your bread up perfect, so. So yeah, just a little hack for you. I'm about to take the meatballs out, and I'm gonna put them in the sauce. Okay, check out the meatballs. They're done. They are very thick. And I am just going to plop them in the sauce. Ever so gently. And you also, like, the whole purpose of frying the meatballs or roasting them, baking them, whatever, is to get a lot of that fat and grease out of the meatballs, because otherwise you're going to be, you know, your sauce is going to have all that like grease in it. And this kind of helps manage that a bit. So we're just going to kind of submerge these meatballs in here. They're very soft. And I have a bag of veggies steaming. I'll show you it in a little bit in the microwave. But yeah, okay. Get this out of here. Cover these up. But then you want to kind of like cook them in here with the sauce, just so they can get a little bit of that sauce flavor, and then so the sauce can get a little bit of the meat flavor. So I'm going to put the lid on. It's this big one. Okay. I'm just going to put the lid on and let that kind of come together a little bit, and then we're going to assemble our meatball subs. I also got another tray line so I can toast. See? And then we're gonna toast the meatball subs with the cheese and everything. So yeah, see you in a bit. Almost finished. Okay. So now, I'm going to take some sauce, spread it on my buns, on my hoagie rolls. I'm putting it on both sides. I'm gonna add, I think I'm gonna do just 2 meatballs. I think that's perfect for like the size of meatballs that I made, because I made gargantuan meatballs. Parm on top. And then we've got provolone. You could use mozzarella if you want. Okay, now I'm just gonna put these in the oven to toast. Get the cheese nice and melty. Shouldn't take super long. These are the veggies I got. They're just HEB sauced vegetable medley with Italian seasoned butter sauce. Simple, easy side to go with the meatball subs. So yeah, now we're just gonna wait for the subs to be finished toasting and we'll be done. We'll be eating. Yum, yum, yum. What do you think? Are you excited to try? Sit. Good boy. Look at that handsome, but oh, don't give me that paw, mister. We're gonna go ahead and try these meatball subs. All right, guys, so I really am just like craving these veggies right now. Pretty good. Not too bad. My romaine died on me. So I would have made like a Caesar salad or something, but my romaine was no good. Let's try this meatball sub. OMG. Let's try. Oh yeah, that's the good stuff, guys. I'm making a mess. But this is absolutely delicious. 10 out of 10. Be sure to like this video, give it a thumbs up, comment down below. Let me know what you're having for dinner tonight. And be sure to check out my Twitter at @MMan, my Instagram at Midwest Mansfield. Check out my Substack newsletter, subscribe to it. The link will be in the description down below as well. I hope you guys enjoyed this cooking video. I'm gonna enjoy eating it. I'll see you in the next video. Love ya. Mwah, mwah, mwah.